Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast.
Hey guys, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a specific analogy that will hopefully give you a different perspective on competitions. And Dan is going to go ahead.
So, this analogy was brought to me by one of my previous coaches, and I was fairly young, so he used a fairly like a kid-friendly example, so just like kid me would understand, nothing too extreme. Um, he didn't use big words, obviously. It's like you teach a kid. I'm sure a lot of our listeners would understand. So he said, let's say you're going to a market, right? There's a farmer's market. And there's a certain seller who has oranges, and they don't really look appetizing. There are maybe some dents in them, some cuts in them, poor handling, right? And then right next to them, they have there's another person selling oranges, but they look more appetizing. They look better. They're brought to you in a better condition. Even if those first oranges taste well, way better than the second option, you are still going to choose the second option if this is your first time coming, right? Because, well, they just look more promising. Your dancing is a similar idea. You have to so you have your dancing, right? You're building it, you're preparing it, and you bring it to the judges and say, this is what I have. Judge it, okay? That was the idea, like an analogy that he gave to me, and it made sense a lot. You have to work on your whoever shows their product the best gets first place. Whoever does basic the best gets first place. This is when I was in syllabus, obviously. So in syllabus, this is I think it's a very good idea because there's limitations. In open, it's slightly different. This is where we grow up a little bit. And let's say we go to a dealership, completely different. You're buying a car, way more mature than buying oranges at a marketplace, right? So the whole idea and um, interaction is going to go different in a dealership because they have trained salesmen who will use some manipulative tactics. Manipulative is a very strong word. They're trying to convince you to buy a more expensive car so they can have more income and stuff like that. So obviously, when we're doing open, we have to convince the judges that our dancing is better, so we get the better placing. That's the whole idea of how you can explain a competition to, let's say, a newcomer or someone who's just wondering about dancing or just competitions in general.
Or just the
Because
idea in general, because if you think about it, sorry,
no worries, go on.
on the judges, their only job is to choose what they like the most. If you're standing at the farmer's market, you have the money in your hand, you're going to choose what you want to spend that money on. They have to choose where they're going to spend that mark. How many, like, they can only recall so many couples to the next round, and they can only give first place to one couple. So if you think about it that way, because there's so many factors that affect
Yes.
the competition, that you're dancing and the judges and the music and how you are that day, there's so many factors that can change. But one factor that you know is going to be the same for every single competition is that every time you go out on that floor, those judges are choosing what looks the best to them, what looks the most appetizing, what's the most shiny, what's the most well presented. And then after that, after maybe they've seen you so many times, then they can kind of start to look inside the dancing. That's when you kind of get a taste of that orange and you really get to compare which one tastes better. But initial reactions is especially important in really big comps, because there's no way that every single judge is going to know exactly who you are and your style of dancing and what you're really good at. So your job is to make it easy on them. You got to present yourself well so they like you from the outside, so they want to come back for more. They want to see you more so they can actually get that taste out of you and understand your dancing more and see if they really, really do like you, to bring you back round after round after round. But you're not even gonna give them that chance if you don't present yourself well. So even if you're not a newcomer and you're just kind of a more advanced dancer or you've been to many competitions, this is still kind of a different perspective on competitions that hopefully we can give to you to just kind of give you a different idea of how to stand out or what you should be putting a lot of energy towards, because obviously at the end of the day everyone wants to do well at the competition.
Yes,
We're just trying
yes.
to do our best to help.
Yeah, so especially considering how in one of our previous interviews, Kevin Flipchak said that right now competitions are sort of reset. You don't really know who's going to win each competition. You can use this ideology right now or this analogy right now because competitions are slightly different right now. Guys, this is it for today's episode. If you're still here and watching, we love you. You're amazing. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye guys.